Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the January 14th, 2026 Technical Review Committee. It is 9:02 on a Wednesday morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We have Dennis Bernier in attendance, Mark Convoy, Rich Bourbonnais, Jamie Gorman, Robin Porthier representing the Planning Board. We do not have anyone at the moment from the Conservation Commission. I'm Jamie Rabbit, the Director of Planning and presiding over this hearing. We also have staff Brian Wagner and Lynn Smith from the Planning Department here. The second agenda item is Agenda Item B, approval of minutes from May, August, and September. I think there was a question for a few people who may not have attended all of these meetings. I'll go through each one for a motion, second, and an approval. If you feel you're not familiar with the minutes because you weren't in attendance, feel free to abstain. Or if you were to vote yes, you're just solidifying that the minutes are being approved and, in essence, recorded. So I hear a motion on the May 14th meeting minutes for adoption.
So moved.
Mr. Gorman first. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Mr. Bourbonnais. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the May 14th adoption of meeting minutes signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Robin Porthier will abstain. I'd entertain a motion for the August 13th minutes to be approved. Mr. Gorman makes the motion. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Mr. Bourbonnais. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Robin Porthier abstains. Motion carries. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes from September 10th, 2025. Mr. Gorman, second by Mr. Bourbonnais. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Robin Porthier abstains. That motion carries. The final motion for minutes is adoption of the October 15th, 2025 minutes. I'd entertain a motion to approve. Thank you, Mr. Gorman. Second by Mr. Bourbonnais. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Robin Porthier abstains. Motion carries. TRC Agenda Item C is TRC Review. Item number 1, Major Subdivision Project, Combined Master and Preliminary Plan for 23 Rockland Ave. Proposing the redevelopment of a parcel of land located at 23 Rockland Ave on Assessor's Plat 56-2, Lot 7, 5A Builders, LLC is the applicant. Kathleen A. Salisbury, Stephanie L. Hanna, and Clinton E. Salisbury, Jr. are the owners. I believe we have Eric Dupree from Eric Prevey here from Dupree Engineering representing the applicant.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Eric Prevey, registered professional engineer with Dupree Engineering. Offices at 2 Stafford Court in Cranston, Rhode Island. Also with me this morning is Alex Petrucci for 5A Builders. I'll be very brief with the presentation because it should be relatively straightforward, and I'd rather just hear the feedback and honor your time. So yeah, it's a 1.3 acre parcel. It's located off of Rockland Drive. Specifically 23 Rockland Drive. It's on the bend. As you start coming up the hill, it kind of takes a left bend, and the property is on the right side there. As I mentioned, it's an R10 zone, so 10,000 square foot per lot density. There's 52 feet of frontage along Rockland Rockland Drive, and then also there's actually a terminus of Hunt Avenue on the northern side as well. So there's the road that comes directly to the north end of the property. There is an existing single-family home on the property that's serviced by public water and an on-site wastewater treatment system. The area generally is serviced by wait, I'll just wait a second. We're good? Okay. And the area is generally serviced by municipal water and sewer. Proposed as a 3-lot subdivision. It's normally it would kind of be a minor subdivision because it's 3 lots, but because of using the flexible frontage provision, that bumps it into a major subdivision, and kind of requested a combined master plan and prelim given the nature of it. No proposed roadway, 3 single-family homes, so 2 new single-family homes with the existing single-family home. The existing single-family home is lot number 1 that's located on the most northern piece of the parcel. The driveway today currently comes off of Rockland Drive, and it's going to be routed to go through Hunt, so just turn and go to the terminus where Hunt is located. The on-site wastewater treatment system has been validated as by DEM, and that it does not need any additional upgrades and such. So that the house is going to stay with the water service and the septic. So effectively staying the same with just rerouting the driveway. Lot number 2 is the middle lot, and that's a single-family house. Actually, 2 and 3, I'll just kind of talk about them. Lot number 2 is the middle lot, and that's going to reutilize the driveway. So the driveway that formerly went to that existing home kind of comes in that area. Lot 2 will use a majority of that driveway and then break off to where the house is located. And Lot 3 will have its own separate driveway, also located directly off of Rockland Drive. So the flexible provision allows for reduced frontage if it's felt by the planning board to be in a good planning practice. So we did also provide a kind of a yield plan to show. There was some discussion at the pre-application meeting with the planning board as far as what that would look like. So we put in probably more effort than I've ever put in on a yield plan before. Usually yield plans are a very, very conceptual nature. But we demonstrated by putting what the roadway would be and how the grades would work. We even have a profile, which again, we've never done that on a yield plan before, but validated that it could be done in traditional or conventional means, but we don't believe it's in anybody's best interest to be putting in a new public roadway through the middle of the property for such a small development. Obviously additional stormwater that comes from that, and additional services to the town. We'd prefer to keep it as the reduced frontage and just have private driveways and just tuck them in. Another reason this is really important actually is the way that the configuration comes for where Hunt is located on the northern property. Obviously, we need to connect to that with the roadway, and having that come through there, that would now put a roadway and a lot of the development and disturbance closer to the western piece of the parcel. And the western part is actually, it's a nice open space land. It's conservation land. It's owned by South Kingston Land Trust. It's about I believe it's a 28 acre parcel. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, Thulis Woods, but it's an actual, and there's actually a small walking path in the woods in that area as well. So we feel being able to pull that away, obviously not having a public roadway with additional stormwater that would be needed, and be able to pull the units away and protect the backyards and create larger buffers to that land trust land as well. So again, I'd be happy to answer any questions, but I just wanted to at least give an overview so you understood what we were talking about.
Thank you, Mr. Prevey. We'll start to go around the table. Dennis Bernier.
Good morning, Eric. My question to you is, first of all, we're going to maintain the existing driveway. So your corner where you're coming off of Rockland and going to the right side, if you can make sure the widths on that are correct for fire apparatus to turn, even if you have to put in shoulder guards for that, so that'll take the weight. Make sure we have 16 feet of clearance on the trees going through there on the existing, so that I don't hit anything with the trucks as we go in. My major concern would be, I believe it's called Lot 2, that's your home that's in between both of them, just making sure that we have a correct amount of access. The distance between the first turn into the driveway on the single family to the corner turn entering from Rockland, can you tell me what that is? Is that
Could you repeat the dimension that you're looking for? Yes, I can, but which?
16 feet high is what I'm looking for clearance on trees, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
I'm also looking for the turning radius. So I'm trying to figure out the distance from Rockland, where you hit your first turn, to the single-family home. I'm trying to determine that so that...
Lot 2, the middle lot?
Correct, yes.
Okay, so the total distance from if I was on the edge of pavement of Rockland going to Lot 2? Okay,
Yeah,
give me
please,
one
if you
second,
could.
please.
So I have 16...
It's about 220 feet to get back there, is what I'm seeing. Well, that's along the driveway, assuming I stay on the driveway.
Yes.
Obviously, the house itself is kind of beforehand, like it depends where you're staging. If you were staging the vehicle directly in front, it'd be a little bit shorter as well. It would be, you drop another kind of 30 feet in that area, so it'd be closer to 200 feet.
All right. What I'm trying to figure out is I can get them in, I'm just trying to figure out the back out, is what I'm trying to work
Okay.
on. Because if I can get a tower truck or a tower ladder in there to do the operation, or an engine, I don't have any problem backing that out. It's my larger vehicle that I'm concerned on getting it to back out, turn, and come back out again. That's my concerns.
Got it.
I mean, the 200-foot backwards, that's no big deal. It's when we get to the radius to turn onto Rockland Drive that would be concerning. Are there stone walls in the area or anything that we may hit when we turn the corner to back out?
No, there shouldn't be. There is a stone wall on the corner, but not where the driveway is.
Okay.
Like way over at where, along the property line, the blue line, I don't know if you can see that, but the far eastern side, there is a stone wall along there, but it's not, I mean, it's probably,
Okay.
it's well off of where that existing driveway is.
So I think what my question is, my major concern is going to be the backing radius to turn back out for that truck. I'm not going to make you put a hammerhead in at the end of a,
Right.
two-family, two-lot. And I know we have water service within the area with hydrants, so I'm not going to worry about that. So that's my major concern.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Conboy?
I have a question concerning the existing house off of Hunt Avenue, the water service. Where does the water service come to that?
So it comes from Hunt Ave, actually. So we did the research, and the actual card shows, the card that was originally on record shows it coming from actually the east, and not even from Rockland, but from the east. I couldn't trace it far enough back, but we did contact Veolia Water and make sure and got it, and they
Okay.
confirmed that card was old and needs to be updated, but it does definitely come right from Hunt anyway. So I don't have to move that service. It's not going to be going through Lot 2 or 3, neither of those. It can come directly as it is today. But the old card, if you actually pull the card itself, it shows it actually coming, not even from Rockland. It's the other road that's right at the corner of, from the main road, Whitford. So if you, it's tough to see, you'd have to go all the way back to the aerial image, but it actually showed a combined service for 3 units back there, but I think they fixed it and they readjusted it at some point. Because I had the same question too. I know that the town does not allow for easements of utilities across people's properties typically. So that was something we were looking at to make sure that it worked.
Okay, and my second question has to do with the same thing, that last house over there. And if I compare this to the yield plan, first of all, let me just go back and just say that when this is a whole entire lot and not being subdivided, that house has the ability to connect to the sanitary sewer system. But in this subdivision, it seems like that house does no longer have the ability to connect to the sewer system. I don't see an avenue for that to occur in the future. And if I compare it to the yield plan does allow that to happen. It allows that lot to connect, but it also allows the northern section of, to the north, on Hunt Avenue, all those lots would be able to connect as well. However, again, in this subdivision, having that lot isolated like that seems to block the ability to have future connections off of, for those houses on Hunt Avenue as well. So I'm not sure if that's within the town's interest to have those connections, the ability to have connections for the sewer as well. And that's pretty much all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Rich?
The only thing I want to bring up is, the terminal end of Hunt Ave is pretty bad, and I didn't know if there was a way to work in some sort of turnaround in that area.
To be honest, I didn't investigate it too much as far as we wanted to make sure the feasibility of the future driveway going in there, but I'm able to look into that and just see what's going on the turnaround and such.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's incorporated into the driveway, that's fine, but then an easement that allows the general public to use it. Presently, that's a pretty narrow road, and it narrows at the end, and it's difficult to maneuver down there. There are a lot of homes on Hunt Ave, a number of homes anyways through there.
Okay, I can look into that a little bit further, yeah, just see if there's
Yeah,
something
please
we
take
can
a
do
look
to
at that.
accommodate that. Yeah.
I mean, everything else seems in order. I think we're going to be pretty clear that you're going to have 2 separate sewer connections for these 2 new properties,
Correct,
and that's going to stay that way.
correct.
I'm looking at him, but I just want to be clear that that's what's going to happen. This plan, we would be sticking to this plan where you're showing 2 separate sewer connections, 2 separate water connections. And
We found typically with developments like this, the less shared property, the less shared items, the better. Right? There's homeowner issues even with just 2 lots sometimes, right? If you had cross easements and things like that, you end up who's paying for doing the repairs. So no, we feel it's in our best interest to keep it as separate units, separate services, everything. So.
along the line, you're showing a pretty wide driveway cut. These aren't necessarily 2 separate driveways. You've really got one. And we don't allow greater than 20 foot of pavement cut, so for an apron. So I don't know if you have to separate those 2, put grass between them or something.
I like that idea. Yeah. Yep. We did something similar to Curtis Corner, make sure that there's actually some. Yeah.
Just do some separation,
Yeah.
that way they fit.
I like that.
And then you could be 2 12s or you could be 2 10s or
Yep.
whatever works, but,
That makes sense.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Mr. Gorman?
The only item I had was there's currently an existing detached garage associated with the existing house.
Yep.
And that's,
Gonna go away.
all right, I was going to say it's going to be demolished, or you're going to need a variance if you want to.
Yep, we wrote it on sheet number 5 on the actual site layout plan. We're pointing to it, and we said that we left it generic, it is a garage, but existing building to be demoed. We added a note right on there, so yeah, that will be removed. There's also a kind of a former pool deck. There's a deck there that making it an above-ground pool, not feel like an above-ground pool, so that'll also be removed as well.
Okay, great, that's all I have. Thank you.
Robin?
No, I think that it's a reasonable use of the space.
Just probably 2 things following up on what Rich Bourbonnais said. And I think what you're looking for, Rich, is having the applicant explore the potential for a hammerhead at the end of Hunt Avenue within the town's existing right-of-way.
That's right. It can be in the driveway, but there needs to be some easement that. There would need to be an easement that requires, maintenance by the owner of that hammerhead as a driveway, or it can be built to town standards, and then, we could also take it as well. then you could do it that way, whatever you'd like to do, but just something that provides people an opportunity to kind of turn around.
Yeah, just so clarity, you're actually building part of your driveway not on your land, right? You're building part of the driveway to the existing house within the town right-of-way, but that driveway is not meeting a road standard,
Understood.
right? So I think what Rich is asking you is kind of a hybrid. You either have to build that section of Hunt Avenue to the town's road standard and then come off with the driveway. That's probably the most code compliant way to do it. Or I think Rich is saying he would entertain looking at providing an emergency turnaround in some manner within the town's right of way that you then come off of.
Understood.
Okay, as part of the driveway. And then the second aspect, I would concur with Rich on the driveway on Rockland Ave, that you're looking at potentially a 24 or 26 foot wide curb cut. That curb cut for the two driveways will be substantially larger than even Rockland Drive. So I would either combine them as basically a shared apron that then branches off, or you need to separate those.
Yeah, there's actually a decent amount of
Front.
yeah, well, not just the shoulder room between where the edge of pavement is and where the actual property line is pretty substantial. It's not like your normal shoulder where it's just like 15 feet. So I'll talk and figure out if we want to combine it beforehand or after, but either way, I understand what you're saying. Either separate it so it's very clearly two smaller driveways, or create the combined apron, so.
The other aspect is if you're going wider, you have to change the landscape significantly within the town's right-of-way versus smaller, has less of an impact on vegetation in the neighborhood.
Is there, does planning staff have a preference on which way that would look?
I think from a community standpoint, the less disturbance you make to the existing landscape would be appreciated by the planning department, the planning board, as well as the neighborhood.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to do with one, if you want to go with one, and you still want them to come in on that's weird angle, but just keep it to 20 feet wide.
Understood.
Yeah, I think Mr. Wagner from our department may have one other insight on that driveway connection.
Yeah, I just wanted to weigh in on this because we did have a neighbor come in yesterday. And apparently based on her comments, the owner of that lot that abuts lot 2 and 3 to the east has been maintaining the area of road right away as if it's their land with landscaping or whatnot. So she was concerned about losing some of the plantings that were there, as well as, I guess, a large pine tree. So I think you would make her happy, or maybe if you want to talk to her, but combining those driveways and pushing them to the south would avoid some conflict there with her. I think it would also have the effect of addressing Mr. Bernier's comments about the turn radius there to get into Lot 2, the farther you can push that entrance to the south.
I'll take a second look at it. I mean, we looked at it obviously when we were going through and doing the design, but I mean, it's literally right around the corner here. I'll go take a look right after this, to go drive by, see what it looks like, and just see what we can accommodate and how that can work. So obviously, the game plan is to try to make it as much as it can. I mean, the whole point was to have, small, quaint homes, tuck them in where it belongs, and obviously we're not trying to make a disturbance to the neighborhood. We're trying to make it as just fitted in there as possible. We don't want a new roadway coming through there. I don't think, as neighbor perspective, I don't think neighbors want a new road connecting Hunt to Rockland also. So we're just trying to tuck the homes in. But I'll take a second look. I'll go drive by there and see what that looks like, and just see if, Alex and I will take a look.
And I understand that if they put it in the town's road right away, that's their issue to some extent.
But as usual, we try to at least hear what people say, and if it's easy to accommodate, it's easy to accommodate, right? So,
Right.
but if it's not and we need to use it for whatever reason, we're going to have to. So I'll take a look, and we try to accommodate as much as we can.
And just to pass along, for you to possibly address when you get to planning board, because you may get a comment on this, she was concerned about stormwater and possibly increasing groundwater levels around her foundation. Just passing that along.
Perfect, yeah. Obviously, that's one of our requirements to ensure that we don't have any increases in stormwater. So, I mean, we do have, I didn't mention it, but the driveways have stone infiltration trenches. We have, each home has dry wells directly to it as well for infiltrating on site. So I'll be sure to make
Right.
that part of my testimony at the hearing as well.
And I explained all that to her in terms of surface stormwater runoff. She seemed to be content with that. But again, her concern was raising groundwater and possible infiltration into her basement. The groundwater levels all seem to get pretty deep the farther north and east you get from this property. I'm
Right.
not sure it's a concern, but just so that you are ready to address it.
Yep, appreciate it.
And again, Eric, just to follow up on one of your comments, you're trying to make this residential in nature, 24-foot wide curb cut, not necessarily residential in neighborly.
Yep, we can pull those apart a little bit, and yeah, yep.
So listening to everyone, any other comments before I try and summarize? I think the three takeaways from the discussion are solidifying turning radiuses for fire apparatus. I think what Dennis is looking for is probably on that almost 90-degree turn on that middle lot, even if you had turf reinforcement on that inside corner. That would probably help the situation there. Also the same thing if you pull those driveways apart, or you may be able to do some turf reinforcement. So driveways are 10, 12 feet wide, but yet there's a larger turning radius with regards to load-bearing soils. The second item was evaluating and addressing turnaround for Hunt, and working with DPS on evaluating that and seeking all solution for that within the town's existing right-of-way. And the third item that I have is addressing concerns about the curb cuts or combined, in essence, driveways for Rockland, and the width of that at, we'll say, plus or minus 24 feet. Coming around that corner, it's going to literally look like a new road cut, not two driveways. So again, I think one solution, you either pull them apart and narrow them with load-bearing shoulders, or you combine them with an apron and again, look at load-bearing shoulders. Did I miss anything in summary? So I think at this point, I would entertain a motion to move this along to the planning board with the understanding that the applicant will address the three technical concerns of the TRC, being those three items: emergency access or public safety access, turnaround on Hunt, and driveway connections to Rockland. Thank you, Mr. Gorman. Do I hear a second? Robin, thank you. So we have a first, a second. Any discussion on the motion with those three items? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. And that brings us to...
Excellent. Thanks for your time this morning.
Back. Under agenda item D, TRC advisory review, we have none. And the next agenda item E, I think is the favorite one, is adjournment. Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Mr. Bourbonnais. Do I hear a second? Thank you, Mr. Gorman. All those in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye. Aye. Meeting's adjourned at 9:32. Thank you.